días.
Okay, hi to everybody, first of all. My name is Javier Blanco, for the people that doesn't attend the conference Corpora 2008 or that went there the other day. First of all, as you will notice very quickly, English is not a language that I work with. Then my English is very poor, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my best, okay? Just if you don't understand, you don't hesitate to ask, okay? I am in a Romance language department, and so I am not so used using English for speeches and for teaching, okay? Well, I am presenting you NooJ in a very practical way. I think the more practical way is the better, okay? Then you have everyone have. I assume that you are familiar with software, no? You are a student of mathematical linguistics. Then more or less there are lots of things that would be more or less trivial, okay? Open a text, to build a concordance, so I can go relatively quick, okay? And then just to focus in aspects that can be particularly interesting for you, okay? And at any moment, please ask me, okay? You can interrupt. The less formal, the better, okay? Well, the author, one word or a couple of words about this software. It's a freeware, then you can download it, work with it. You have full access to all functionalities except a couple of but complicated functionalities that you will need the community version, okay? But still you can have it if you wish. You send a mail to Max Silverstein, okay? Max Silverstein is the author of the software. I'm developer of the Spanish module, Catalan module, and other lexicographical modules because I am a linguist, okay? Not a computer scientist at all. But well, still I can more or less try to show, okay, the software. Then let's begin with the most obvious thing. You will find in application, you will find this Excel file, and you just double click, and you say niet, because okay, we don't want the software to try to connect now to internet and so and download and so. And you have this simple, okay, screen, okay. Well, let's just at the moment open a file, the sample file, okay. That it's a roman of Henry James. I make file open. I open a text. I have three choices, okay? I will choose the portrait of a lady, which is, you notice, it's a NooJ formatted text, okay? The extension of this file will be NooJ because the NooJ formatted text would take this extension. But it's important for you to know that you can work in any text, almost every format that you have. If you have some texts that you want NooJ to work with, you can just import this text, okay? NooJ recognizes over 100 text format, and normally it's able to treat more or less everything, okay? Then you can work with any text that you have in the language that NooJ is prepared to work with, okay? It means at the moment more or less a dozen languages with some linguistic resources behind, okay? Let's then take English because it's a common language now. I open the text. Well, the text is here, but NooJ has not only opened this text, but has applied at the same time some linguistic resources. Okay, let's take a look at what happened behind the text. If you click here, show text annotation structure, you will notice that NooJ knows a lot of things, okay, knows a lot of linguistic data about the text, okay? This linguistic data, of course, can be That's the text annotation structure. Okay, in NooJ, if you read the NooJ manual, you have you can download my advice is that you download the NooJ manual. It's a very practical. It's written in a very plain style. Okay, and it's really useful, and it's regularly updated. Okay, you have the PDF file in at the NooJ website page, and well, that's called the text annotation structure. Okay, TAS. That is automatically automatically built when NooJ apply the linguistic resource over a text. Okay, then you take any text, you open it with NooJ. If the preferences are correctly seated, you will have a text annotation structure that contains information about each sentence, okay, of the text. If I can travel around the text, so I select the different text units and I have the text annotation structure. Okay, it's clear. Okay. One word about the text unit. You notice that in sometimes I will say index and not NooJ. That's because the software that was before NooJ was called Intex. Okay, and I'm so old Intex user that sometimes I say Intex instead NooJ. Okay, but treat it as synonyms or as variants. Okay, it's because I am so used to work with Intex. Well, you have the analysis of the electronic lexicon, of the electronic dictionary. The text unit, that's important. Here is the paragraph. But you can select each text unit that you want. Okay, you can select a line, for example, a paragraph. You can use a Perl regular expression in order to cut the text. Okay, as you will, etc. Okay. Do you know a little bit about regular expressions? I suppose. Then, if you know about regular expression, you can use it in order to cut the text at every step. Okay, at every point that you can discuss. Well, of course, we can take a look at the list of characters. Okay, that's trivial. Any software can do it, but still, it's interesting to notice that NooJ can work with any alphabet. Okay, Chinese, Egyptian hieroglyphs, Cyrillic, because he can work in Unitext 16. Okay, normally it's UTF-8 because it's not necessary to work on a 2 bytes basis. But if you really want, you can encode everything in 16. Okay, and then you treat every alphabet. Okay, that it's not. Okay, and you can work in the same text with Chinese, Arabic, Russian, Italian, as you prefer. Okay, you will normally never have the problems of decoding characters. Well, the tokens, of course, just a list of tokens with the frequency. Okay, that's still trivial. If you really want to, you can define the separator character. Okay, if you are trying to, I don't know, to make another kind of analysis, you are not obliged to have the blank as a separator. Okay, you can. Normally it's the case, but I don't know. If you are working with Inuit languages, for example, perhaps blank it's unuseful because there are these hyper agglutinative languages, okay, polysynthetic languages that are okay, and perhaps you want to apply another analysis. You are free, okay, to decide it in preference. But normally, of course, you will have the blank as a separate. Well, here you have the non-unambiguous words. unambiguous words means that here you have just one analysis per form, okay? It means that the dictionary contained only one analysis for these forms. It means, in this case, they are unambiguous. Always regarding this dictionary, of course. If you apply other dictionaries or more linguistic resource, you can have ambiguities. Okay?
And what's that? Adverb and something like that?
Yeah, yes, sorry, of course. Here is that determiner, preposition, pronouns, and so on.
And 3,600.
That's the frequency. The frequency.
Yes, yes. But
yeah.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th line.
Yeah.
Adverb with that added.
Interesting. What adverb? Yeah. Yeah. Well, probably there is adverb in the text, but I don't know. It's completely strange because let me see.
Ty się 54 razy?
Наличие по умолчанию.
Не пробелы?
Пробел в душ.
I don't know. I don't have any clue in this moment because one possibility could be, but that it's not the case, that it would be an actual form in the text, but it's not the case because it doesn't appear. Nothing, it's not an adverb, of course, because nothing is nothing. And really, I don't know. Okay. I will, yeah.
Actually, if I guess, it's in negative forms. I mean, if we go to corpus with this adverb, we have this don't, can't, mustn't, and all this stuff.
Yeah, and
Just
I think that you have applied
Yes.
applied the
allocate pattern.
No. In that window to click on the little N in red box. Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
О, это что?
Они разными цветами подсвечиваются.
That's probably the effect of a grammar. Well, let's do one thing. Use, if you make that, probably this adverb is going to disappear because probably that it's I'm going to tell you about it later, okay? Probably that it's not a real analysis of the main dictionary, it's an analysis of a little dictionary that is taking negative contraction forms, okay? Then try this. You uncheck these contractions, okay? Apply. Then we reapply linguistic analysis. Do you follow me?
No.
Oh, sorry. Too quick. I went to preference. Sorry, now I can't because it's working. Let me try.
And where is the preference?
Just 1 second. Unambiguous.
Info.
Okay, yeah, it was that. Okay, thank you, Tatiana. Then it's that. You uncheck contractions and the problem. It was not actually a problem. It was just a strange thing in the frequency, and you will be this thing disappear. The idea is that it's a little dictionary that is treating contractions in negation, but it's not appearing as a word because it is a word. Okay, it's normal. Okay, you understand more or less?
Yes.
Well, then. Sorry. Yeah.
Ah, something.
Now. I will close. Sorry, it's difficult to see here. Save text yet. I go to preference again. I check in order to have the normal behavior. Open text. Okay. Let's take a look now to ambiguities. Ambiguities, you will have the same kind of analysis, okay? But here there are at least 2 analyses per word, okay? That means that these words would be systematically ambiguous. But that's ambiguity only in the tagging, okay? You know, not, of course, you must develop parsing, a parser, in order to eliminate these ambiguities, okay? Yeah, question?
I can't understand how to find the list of ambiguous and unambiguous.
Yes, it's easy. Here. You know, you have characters, token, digrams, ambiguous, ambiguities, and unambiguous. Ambiguities are here. You just double click here, and you have, okay? Okay. Remember that when you perform one change in lexical resource or in preference or so, you have to reapply, okay? You go to text and you reapply the linguistic analysis. And NooJ is reapplying, okay, all the dictionaries. Correct? Okay? When you open the text, he's doing it the first time, but if you want to make change, for example, you can add a dictionary, another dictionary, okay? Or change the preference, then you reapply. Well, if you go to preference, here you can see the different results, okay? These results are located normally in lexical. Here in English, I have, by default, when you download NooJ, you download NooJ, the software, plus the English and French linguistic results. Okay? If you want the Spanish or the Catalan, the Chinese one, you have to go to the web page and download it manually. But it's the same principle. Okay? You just have other language modules. Each language module has the lexical analysis and syntactic analysis. At the moment, the project is, I'm going to tell you about it later. It's just useful in order to save some preference, some text and some dictionaries, and to show it to other persons, okay? To share, for example, little, okay, observations or to teaching with NooJ and so on. At the moment, let's focus in lexical analysis. Here you have the different dictionaries and grammars that you can find here in preference. Okay?
Okay.
And you can decide if you will work with these dictionaries or not. At the moment, we are working with this one, that it's the big one, okay? A dictionary of compound nouns, first names, and contractions. Well, so now, since you have the text and some information, some linguistic information about the text, you can use this linguistic information in order to retrieve, okay, some parts of the text that can be of interest for you. We do it with concordance. go to locate pattern, you have this menu, and we can, of course, tell just locate was, okay? And we have a concordance of was, okay? If I locate one of the concordance, I have in the text, okay, here, I can locate it in the text, okay? Okay, then I click in the concordance and I select it in the text if I am waiting for, if I am looking for a particular function. Okay, everybody can do it. It's fine at the moment. It's going okay. Yeah. Well, that it's not very interesting because it's a normal concordance. That is just a form concordance. You can do it with a lot of software. But since we have some form of linguistic knowledge from the dictionaries, we can more complex queries. Like, for example, if I take was instead of taking was, I am interested in all the forms of the verb to be, okay? No, sorry, to be is not because it's not the infinitive. I will take was. What's happening? Okay. What I'm having now as a concordance is all the forms of to be, okay? I have to write under brackets, okay? One form of to be, and I have the entire paradigm, okay? Because NooJ is able to recognize, of course, inflection paradigms, okay? Well, that's better than a normal concordance, okay? Because you don't have. But we can go ahead and say, for example, let's take the verb have plus a noun. Okay? The verb have, any form of have, I have, you have, yeah? Question?
How can I tell this program that n is a morphological annotation and have is simply a word, so the sequence of letters?
Well, you can decide everything. Of course, there are some standards in NooJ because, of course, the people that are working with NooJ decide that uppercase N would be a noun, uppercase A would be an adjective, and that it's more or less standard. But at the same time, you are completely free to decide it, because you are deciding it when you apply your dictionaries. Take a look at that. When you apply the dictionaries, here, for example, in ambiguous, here you have, for example, you can see that capital A is for adjective, ADV is for adverb, and so on and so on. Then you can just reuse what you see in the dictionary in order to recover the information. Okay? In the manual you have a list of more or less standards annotation. But if you decide to build a dictionary and instead of saying that capital N would be substantive, you prefer to use another symbol, you are completely free because NooJ will retrieve what the dictionary it's telling NooJ. Okay?
You mean that if NooJ sees have and n in uppercase, it will first look for have in list of annotations.
Absolutely.
It will not find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a built-in feature. Uppercase, it's annotation normally. Under brackets, under uppercase would look for an annotation. Okay, or for a uppercase form in the text. Okay, Clear?
So there is no way to ask NooJ to find I in uppercase as a word.
Yeah. Just don't use brackets. Don't use brackets, and that's all. Sorry.
Okay, but
If I don't use brackets, I have exactly what I put in. Okay? If I use brackets, I am telling NooJ, pay attention, I want something more. And this something more can be the entire inflection paradigm of a little case, or some special annotation symbols, okay? That are these ones. But that's working only.
excuse me, and
Yes.
is it possible to use some symbols with brackets and without brackets in one search or not?
Yes,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
it can-
you
it
can
can be
combine. Yeah, for example, you can decide to find in locate pattern
Tatiana done, thank you.
any verb. Okay,
Okay.
I and any verb. I should, I have, I guess.
What is the difference between red, green, and blue?
Nothing. It's just to have fun. Okay, you can change and have different concordance. That you can decide. You click in blue, green, or so, just in order to differentiate.
Could you search for some M in brackets? Again, there are some very strange variants.
Can you tell me what was
Какие
your...
сломал свою систему?
First form of verb. Shall I request it?
Я знаю, это было.
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
The search button would be the opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. And I see here are, few, in, no.
And you have probably some prepositions or...
Yeah,
Okay,
I have everything.
everything. Well, probably because it was a search that... Can you tell me exactly what you put in?
And in angle brackets.
And?
And
N.
letter
Just letter N.
One letter.
Okay.
One.
So it's noun search actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have... that's the linguistic part. You have... You ask for nouns, and you have strictly and only nouns.
There are verbs in this list.
No. There are nouns, there are ambiguous.
Aha!
I mean, you have performed a tagging, not a parsing. Then, in some interpretation of the dictionary, these forms can be nouns. You are much better at data tagging because you have much more linguistic knowledge than a tagger, okay? And then you say, but that's not, I am not happy with these results because in art, for example, here it's not a noun, but somewhere in the dictionary, art is a noun.
R. Это не
And do you have worked with real big dictionaries in tagging? Because you can be absolutely amazed, but I am working, I am a lexicographer, I'm writing dictionaries for now 14 years, okay? Each day, well, not each day, but... And sometimes I am completely surprised by results that are in my dictionary. For example, the problem is that of course in Spanish I am, but perhaps you, avería, that is something like when your car broke. That is an abstract, and in one analysis it appears as a locative, and I say, but that's completely impossible. It's possible because in the big dictionary avería it's marked as, well, you know, it's a place where you can grow birds, okay? Never mind. I mean that you can be surprised by your own dictionary. Then, that it's a big dictionary performing a tagging, and you have lots and lots and lots of ambiguities. If you want something better, you have two ways. My way as a linguist or the other ways. Okay? My way is to improve the syntactic module. Other ways can be just to perform statistical guesses, to use stop word list, to parameter the text. You follow me a little bit? But if you use big dictionaries, the price to pay is to have ambiguity, unexpected ambiguities. Okay?
Another question. We have here afternoon tea.
Absolutely. It's a feature of NooJ, because do you see this dictionary that it's called a compound noun dictionary? Well, the idea is that there are lots and lots in English, in other Romance languages, in other German languages, that of nouns that are in fact noun syntax. For example, if I say to you that I was in high school in Barcelona, high school, everybody understands that my school was not in a hill. Okay? High school was just it's just a compound noun. I mean, high school, it's a school of a level. Okay? Or if I say to you, if I tell to you that I am, it's not true, but that I am taking hard drugs, okay? Hard drugs, it's not a drug that it's particularly hard. It can be very, okay? I mean, hard drug, if I translate to other language, perhaps I am not saying hard drug, I am saying other thing, okay? The same with black hole. A black hole, in astronomy, it's not black and it's not a hole, okay? And so on and so on. There are something like, look, that it's interesting, because if you have a big simple noun dictionaries, you will have at maximum, well, at maximum, even a big dictionary, you will have more or less 80,000, okay, nouns at most, more or less. Well, and nobody in this room can say that he knows, even in modern language, 18,000 nouns. Okay, most of nouns would be, we will know more or less 25%, something like that. Okay, at most. Well, recognize, recognize. Well, the other you will even have no clue about the meaning. Okay, but if you take a big dictionary and you look at the compound nouns like black hole, high school, and so on, the dictionary will fail behind you. I mean that you will know more compound nouns than the dictionary, even a big one. Okay, it can depend of the lexicographical tradition of every country. I don't know. I am not well aware of the Russian lexicographical tradition. Perhaps in Russian traditional dictionaries there are lots and lots of compound nouns. I don't know. It depends of the, but normally it's not the case. Okay, it's not the case in German. It's not the case in English. It's not the case in French. It's not the case in Spanish. It's not okay. That means that normally only in terminological dictionaries you find good collections of compound nouns. And even in terminological dictionaries, for example, in medical ones, you have 30,000, 35,000, and it's less than you need. Okay. Then we have constructed big compound noun dictionaries for Spanish, French, and not so good for English. Okay. And the idea is that at this moment, for example, in Spanish we have 250,000 entries. I mean lemmas, non-inflected entries. But well, inflected it's more or less 500,000, because there is only 40,000 that are humans, so have four forms for humans in Spanish, just masculine, feminine, and the plurals of the both. Okay, and the nouns that are not humans have only 2 inflected forms. Okay, let's it would be 580, 100,000, okay, inflected forms. And it's not enough. As a Spaniard can locate in text noun compounds that I don't have in my dictionary. I must complete the compound nouns. But still we have some, okay? Like afternoon tea. Huh? Pay attention. It's difficult intuitively to say what is a compound noun and what it's not a compound noun, okay? Normally we will fail. The idea is that if you are not trained, you will consider that something it's not frozen, but it's frozen. Because you must test not only the obvious properties, okay, but all the other properties, okay? If I say something like, well, if I go to the underground, I take the escalator. The escalator in Spanish is just, in English is just escalator, okay? In Spanish is escalera mecánica. Mechanical, how do you say just, yeah, when you take steps, yeah. No, not automatic steps. A lot of steps is, in English, I'm looking for the word.
Stairs.
Yeah. Yes.
Stairs.
No. What do you call in English? I just don't recall the word. If you have a lot of steps, that's called a staircase or stairway. Okay, that's the word well, in Spanish, the escalator is literally called a mechanical staircase. Okay, well, no Spaniard will say that mechanical staircase is frozen. But if you are going to say it in French, you cannot say escalier mécanique. You have to say escalier roulant. Rolling staircase. Okay. No French would be that it's frozen. But if you are saying it in Italian, you can say rolling staircase and you can say mechanical staircase. You have to say mobile staircase. Okay? So, scala mobile and so. So, it means that there are lots and lots of compound nouns that we have to have in the dictionary because we cannot foresee how they will act, okay, with regarding some linguistic properties or regarding translation, okay? I have answered your question more or less. Yeah.
And what about the verbs, for example, phrasal verbs?
Exactly the same. But the verbs are, in a way, more difficult. In other way, on the one hand, more difficult. On the other hand, easier. Why? Because you don't need 100,000, hundreds. I don't need. You don't need 500,000. You need only 50,000 more or less. Okay? Well, that's easier. That's the part that is easier. Okay? It's 20 or 30 times less, the dictionary. Okay? I'm speaking about English or French, okay? Or Spanish. On the other hand, you must pay attention to insertions. You cannot make insertion in a compound noun, otherwise it's a over compound and we have to put it in the dictionary, right? But in a verb you can have insertions, okay? Then you need a lexicon grammar. It's a table, it's not exactly a dictionary, it's a grammar. Well, there is no theoretical, in NooJ there is no theoretical difference between a grammar and a dictionary. They are exactly the same. There are finite states automatons, okay? But a grammar can have insertions. A dictionary entries cannot have insertions, okay? Well,
May I ask, there's another
yeah.
piece, country house.
Country house, yeah.
Which
Country
is
house.
with I don't know how the science calls it. This is graphical in one word, but it's not shown as one noun.
Because probably it's not in the dictionary as if you. Oh, sorry. I need the. I lost the. Here. Well. You know, in this way there is no country, sorry. Country. There is no country house. Then, you know, there is no mystery in this in NooJ, because if you don't tell NooJ something, NooJ is unable to know. Okay, it's so easy in one way. Okay, then in this case blame the English lexicographer. Okay, that doesn't exist, and you can't blame it because we don't have a good English team. Okay, the English resource were elaborated in Paris, and so they are not so good as French resource, because the idea is that. In my way, it's the start point in NooJ. For me, the best thing in NooJ is not NooJ, because as a software, a couple of software engineers can reinvent NooJ in a week, I suppose. Okay, I am not a computer science myself, but what is really brilliant about NooJ is that for 20 years there are people that have been working in dictionaries. Okay. That's the power of NooJ. The other is just computer, that can change or that can be remade easily. Okay. The idea is that the French team, particularly, that was the questions better than blah blah blah.
Sorry, this is about your. What do you say before? How do you populate your dictionaries? Only manually,
Absolutely.
or you use some extraction? Texts?
Never. And I say something honestly, I hate people that, I hate people, I am a lexicographer, I make my dictionaries by hand, and I allow no one to try to do it automatically.
But you may use NooJ to,
no, yes,
to
of
do
course.
NooJ better.
Yes, in one part I am kidding, of course, because I know that, but don't get me wrong, get me right. The idea is that you must, the lexicographical part and the grammatical part is done by hand by linguist. Okay, we can use so much computer help as you want, but the idea is that we really write the dictionaries and the grammars. Okay, we don't try to guess the dictionary from text. Okay, because if in some labs around Europe, for example, you have very big dictionaries. For example, in Munich, you have a lab that is called Zentrum für Information zur Sprachverarbeitung, that says we have a dictionary of 5 million English compound nouns. Okay, I say, well, I am working since 10 years in the Spanish compound nouns dictionary, and I have 200,000. Okay, 5 million. It's a lot of people working in that. No. We had it in 7 weeks. Okay. How? Now, we extract blah 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 blah, and then blah, blah, we have a dictionary. That's not what I'm calling a dictionary. I'm calling it a list of guesses. Okay, that can be really brilliant guesses. Okay, but you cannot completely trust this dictionary, and that it's dangerous, because if you are doing something automatically with a manually write dictionary, it's more or less okay. If you are doing something automatically with an automatically done dictionary, that can be very okay. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes,
yes, more or less. Then the idea is, you have always, I'm coming, sorry, you have always a linguist that is doing the work. You try never. You are completely free to try to develop dictionaries with other methods and to run it under NooJ. Okay, that it's possible.
Okay.
But it's not exactly NooJ philosophy with this resource. Okay.
I
Of course,
right.
from a computational point of view,
But it looks like it's possible to do it in NooJ. To write some grammars and to extract these collocations. So I asked.
my idea is you can extract candidates
Yes.
and it's fine, but the work is to be done, is still to be done. Okay, I mean, if I guess right, I am going to say something probably very extreme. Okay, but even okay, we can. I don't believe in automatically recognition of collocations, of compounds. I don't believe in it. Probably, yeah, probably a lot of you are working exactly in this. Okay? Probably. But I'm sorry, I don't believe you. But prove it to me, okay? Just prove it to me. I know that it can be very practically to have these guesses, okay? But my idea is a linguist must do the job. Perhaps because I am completely partial. You mean I am completely partial because I am a more or less traditional lexicographer, and it's like I don't know, huh? You know, it's against my principles, okay? But well, feel free, of course, to do anything. Perhaps you are the future, I don't know. Okay, I prefer to do it really manually, everything. And if I have to go deeper inside, I will go deep inside this in the microstructure of the dictionary, not in the macrostructure. You know what I mean? I mean, I think that what we need are properties for our entries, not other entries, okay? But that's only my opinion, and it's possibly wrong, okay? I just tell my, yeah.
You told that for NooJ dictionary and the grammar is the same. Could you please explain what do you mean?
Yes. A dictionary, oops, sorry. A dictionary is that, more or less, okay? That's a sample dictionary. You can have 30 or 40 microstructures fields, okay? For example, if you wish to trade collocations, you have to, that's cuisine or artist is a noun. The inflection is like table, I mean, it's just you put an S in the plural, okay? Don't worry now, there's the automatical inflection, and it's a human, okay? More or less. Okay. There are other microstructural fields, okay? For example, if you have trip, you must know that I say, I take a trip, okay? Or that trip is something that, well, it has a lot of aspectual values and so, okay? But that's more or less a dictionary, okay? And this dictionary is compiled as an automaton, okay? Well, for example, I don't know. Well, that's a grammar, okay? But this grammar, once compiled, will look exactly as a dictionary because it's an automata, okay?
Do you mean that you cannot write a grammar in text form?
Yes, you can. But it's very difficult. Sometimes it's very difficult, but you can. You can write it in text form. Sometimes it's much more convenient to write it in. For example, I'm showing you something that it's not very, very complicated. Sorry. now I close NooJ. I mean NooJ. That's in order to recognize synonyms or variants of credit card. Okay? It's bright like a grammar because it's more beautiful. But in fact, it could be perfectly rewrite as a dictionary, you know. And if compiled, it's exactly the same computational device. Okay? But that's the computational side of the thing. The linguistic side of the thing is as follows. My affirmation. There is no theoretical distinction at all between a dictionary and a grammar. They are exactly the same thing from a linguistic point of view. And I am sure that because there is no grammar, there is only lexicon. Okay? I don't know if it's interesting for you or not, but the idea is that the grammar is in each word. There is no such thing as a grammar independent of words. It's like human beings. We are human beings, and we are in a room. At the same time, we have noses or we have eyes, okay? And we have sometimes blue eyes, okay? But there is not something like blue eyes or blue eyes clusterings or something like that. There are just human beings. And in language there are just words. And these words behave as they like, okay? And in this behavior, they behave in some, more or less, sometimes as wholes, okay? As sets. And some generalization about the behavior of a set is a grammar rule. But this grammar rule, strictly spoken, doesn't exist. It's just a lot of words behaving this way, okay? Then, theoretically, you can write all in a dictionary, because the problem with grammar would be precisely that when you have a rule, you don't know exactly over which words and when the rule will apply. That, I mean, perhaps I will take 10 seconds about it because it's crucial for me. For me, for other people, it's completely. Sorry, Andrew.
By RUL, you mean R-U-L-E?
Yes, RUL. The most important about a grammar rule is not the rule; it's over what words I am applying this rule. If I apply this rule for the wrong words, it's a disaster. Okay, do you agree with me? Well, the difficult thing in writing grammars, it's not writing grammars itself. It's for which words exactly this rule applies, and that's very difficult because the real answer is this rule applies to the words that follow this rule. And it's an extensional problem, it's not an intentional problem. Okay? Because it's like human beings. Human beings behave in a, okay, probably in sets, but you don't. And the idea is, we must construct dictionaries. These ambiguities are I am absolutely sure that we still can be much better at that. You know, just let me do a thing to open the text.
Вот они тут и вставляют. Матрица симметрична. Но мы можем в качестве объектов рассматривать слова. Вот это у нас объект, а это его параметры. Второй объект, а вот его параметры. Два вектора. Ну, раз два вектора, значит, можно между ними определить расстояние, евклидовое какое-то. И построить матрицу слова-слова. И группировать слова. Собственно, мы вот эту операцию использовали тогда, когда хотели найти описание категорий. Каждой категории описания, это были ключевые слова. Нам нужно было найти группы связанных слов. А потом, когда мы их выявили, назвать каждую группу слов описанием данной категории. Вот вам как раз иллюстрация. Иллюстрация кластеризации для, я вам говорил, для категоризации. Цветная матрица, слова. Что тут видно вот здесь? Посмотрите, пожалуйста. Видите, здесь у меня некоторые цифры. Ну, скажем, коэффициент корреляции, как хотите, да, или близости. Сделаем так. Если коэффициент корреляции больше 0,5, коэффициент связи, назначим степень связи единицу. Вот так, и покрасим красным цветом эту не ступенечку, а ячеечку. А если меньше 0,5, пускай будет беленькая. Вот примерно что получилось. То есть все, что вы видите, отражает как бы сильные связи и слабые. Очень слабые связи, которые приравнены нулю, и сильные связи больше 0,5, которые были приравнены были единице. Здесь эта матрица слова. И теперь мы ее сгруппируем. Вот у нас. Видите, тут все написано. Матрица содержит значение совместного появления слов. Да? Красненький, когда величина совместно встречаемся выше некоторого порога. То есть они связаны. Ну, а беленький нет. А вот вам результат. Это все реальные задачи. Мы кластеризовали потом слова, и вот выявили, это все слова. Значит, тут слова, по этой оси и тут слова. А вот эти слова, вот эти вот в конце, болото как бы такое, задворки, они оказались никому не нужны, только сами с собой, видите, по диагонали. Эти слова ни в какой категории не вошли, они были лишними, их, в принципе, надо было бы удалить. А вот эти вот слова, вот у нас одна категория, вот она, вот вторая категория, третья, раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть. 6 категорий явно здесь видно. То есть блочная структура матрицы – это хороший показатель того, что да, в данном потоке документов на основании на данном наборе ключевых слов, он был откуда-то был извлечен.
But perhaps I can focus about NooJ, it's more interesting, okay? Because we have not an... sorry. Well, other features of NooJ that could be interesting, for example, well, what do you prefer? To create a little dictionary and to compile it and to try to inflect one word, or just to take a look at grammars, graphs, and so on?
Create a dictionary.
Create a dictionary. Okay. Let's create a Russian dictionary, one entry Russian dictionary, for example. It could be okay. It could be funny. We will begin from scratch. Okay? Well, you will begin from scratch because I don't know Russian. Well,
Open text.
make one thing. We close the text. Close. Close the grammar. We go to preference. We select Russian. Okay. And we say apply, okay? Well, now, we have just select Russian, okay? RU. There is no linguistic knowledge at all about Russian, just RU. That's all, okay? But at least we know that NooJ can treat Cyrillic, okay? We will test it. Well, write a new text and you write just a sentence in Russian. But the same sentence, like I like apples or something like that, okay? Or no, better, write something like I'm eating an apple and just make sure that apple is singular.
Мама мыла рану.
An apple. Okay? I'm eating an apple. And if someone is kind enough to write it, if you can, something can write there, because otherwise I am completely unable.
Could you please repeat actions we need to do to open this window?
Yes, just you restart NooJ from scratch, okay? You make sure that there is no file, no text and no grammar open. You go to preference. You select RU as language, that is Russian.
Info preference.
It's okay?
No?
Yes, yes. What's next?
And then file new. File text new.
File new text.
Yeah, new text. Okay? And you write, I am eating an apple. Well, an apple chin would be apple chin. No, it's not.
It's orange.
It's orange. Well, it's okay. Orange would be fine. Okay? Apple chin. Well. If I take a look at lexical resources now, I have the lexical resources for Russian. It has nothing, okay? Well, I have some information, of course. No, I have no. Okay. Well, characters. No. Well, let's try it. I go to a new dictionary. Okay. Russian. And here you have something that can be useful, but that we aren't using at the moment. For example, if we create later a properties definition, we can use it. A properties definition is just in order to improve your microstructure. I'm showing you that, if I can. Well, let's forget about it. I am going to show it later, okay? Now, just put here some information. For example, apple It's a noun, okay? No. Well,
Alt plus shift.
okay.
Ну там о. Ты это видел?
Okay, it's a noun, and this noun it's a vegetal, okay, and this vegetal is a
Vegetal. It's fruit.
and the translation is
Слова грамматика антологии, но.
Поняла вообще.
no, orange.
О.
Something like that. Sorry? Vegetable or vegetable. That's don't worry about it. But the idea is that I'm taking vegetable because the first semantic classification in the dictionaries are human, animal, vegetable, concrete, abstract, locative, and temporal. But that's completely a convention. Okay, and then these 7 taxons are splitting in 6,2500 semantic classes, okay? In order to retrieve, for example, each yes, question?
Do you mean that these classes are trees with single inheritance?
Trees.
Do you mean does it work with single inheritance or multiple inheritance?
Multiple inheritance. There are not trees, okay, because it's not an ontology. It's some kind of a graph, of a connected graph, but it's populated strictly by hand and discovered strictly by hand for each language, again and again. And it's fine because, for example, but I can, unfortunately, I cannot explain But the idea is that, well, these semantic classes are obtained by means of syntactic operators. For example, in French it's exactly the same. Porter un pull, porter, et porter une serviette. But in English it's not the same. It's to wear a sweater, well, and to carry a suitcase, well. If I must translate it, I must make the difference in English and in French, in every language, okay? And which some patterns of these operators that we are calling appropriate operators, we are describing these semantic classes, okay? But we are by no means populating ontologies or adopter, and overall, we don't use WordNet because we don't like WordNet. We don't like WordNet, or because WordNet, it's not bad, because millions and millions of dollars have been injected in WordNet. But I can think of better use of $1 million if you have it, okay? No, really, honestly, I have nothing against WordNet, but sometimes it's like WordNet would be, I don't know, something like the lexicon or the semantic, and it's not true. It's a resource, okay, and it's fine, but well, okay, other things.
But
well, but let's focus with. Sorry,
I'm sorry. Little question. How many classes do you have?
625 for Spanish.
625,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I cannot tell you if we need 700 or 800. But one thing is sure: we don't need thousands of it. No, we need hundreds. Okay.
For any language.
Yes.
It's just for nouns, or
no, nouns, verbs, because in this classification there are entities and there are facts. The entities are only nouns. The facts are nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, and that's all. Because for us, prepositions are a special case of adverbs. Okay? Then that's all. And of course, the classification of facts is a really difficult thing, okay? But it's the better thing to speak of, because if you need to present a linguistic semantic classification, do it in something like feelings, for example. Don't do it in something like illnesses, because in something like illnesses, you have encyclopedic knowledge that could confound you. In something, you follow me? In mathematics is other thing, because it's an axiomatic domain. Then it's working probably, okay, because it's self-constructed domain, okay. But do it in feelings, or do it in blows, okay. And blows, you know, in coup. Yes, the class of. Yeah, to punch someone, okay? If I punch someone, this class, okay? Everything that you do, try to classify this kind of facts that are completely linguistic facts, okay? But sorry for the distractions. Let's return to our dictionary. The idea is that you are free to write as many fields as you need, and you are free to describe these fields in the properties file, okay? You don't need to say English equal orange, or for example, you can recover this information just as it appears here, or as a couple of name and value, okay? But that it's more or less trivial, okay? It's informative. Let's try to compile this dictionary if it's working, okay? I say yes, I test, okay? Okay. Now, lab, dictionary, it's okay? Edit, cannot find, no, okay. I need to, okay, I I locate dictionary. It's okay for everybody? Compile. Okay. Now this dictionary is just a regular expression, okay? Okay. And now preference. No. Sorry. Yeah. Import file. The idea is, where is the, must be my documents. My documents, okay. Where is the file?
Personally, I found it in my documents, NooJ, Russian. Excellent.
А код получается текст редактировать?
Да, там нужно пробукву
Okay,
нажать.
Russia, okay. Here, okay. Okay, it's completely logic, okay? I was illogical, okay? But NooJ was completely logic. Okay, then.
То есть вот эти слова.
Okay, you take refresh, and it's here. You click it, apply, and now linguistic analysis, and we have our entry. Okay, amazing. And now we can locate here all the, for example, all the nouns. And we have the concordance, okay? Or all the nouns that are fruits. And you still have the concordance, okay? Well, if you tell something to NooJ, NooJ is able to tell you the same thing, okay? In other, yeah?
The question is, when I edit text,
yeah.
if I click the right mouse button, I have an option to modify text. What does it mean?
What? Sorry?
Then I edit text and I click the right mouse button on the text. I see an option modify text.
Yeah, because you can just do some modifications in text and reapply the linguistic resources in order to see what happens. You don't have to create another text. It just you can modify the text.
If I click this option, it erases all the text I have.
Yeah. If you click this option, now you can change the text. If you don't click these options, you can change the text. That's very simple. Okay, you can do the same thing, just taking the file and changing it. I mean, it's not okay. Now I must tell that I don't want to save the text in order to open it again. And now, where is the text? Okay. Sorry. In fact, I was wrong. Can you please rewrite the text, because I say niet in order to save the text, and I haven't the text. Can you rewrite the text? Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Because I have lost it.
The same one?
The
same.
Yeah, the same, please, because I just lost it. The dictionary. In preference, now I say import file. I look for the file that is in the Russian. There. It was there, Russian. Well, just a moment. Russia. I don't speak Russia. Okay. Can you please, yeah. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to locate pattern. Apply explanations. Push, it's okay. Okay. The text annotation is okay. And I can normally, I am able to say, give me in the text the nouns which translate as orange.
Oh.
Okay, and that can be with that you can build very funny little applications, because you can tell, for example, you have a Russian text and you allow your English speaker user to retrieve all the nouns of trees or fruits without knowing a word in Russian. Okay, and you can do funny and impressive applications if you play a little bit with it. Okay, a little bit of disambiguation, just in order not to have so many noise. And I don't know, for a focalized application, it can be funny to be able to ask to retrieve information in other language completely different. Okay, and with compound nouns, it's working very nice, because compound nouns normally they are very, very unambiguous, and it means that you can find if you are working with compound nouns between French, Spanish, or French, Italian, and so, you are pretty sure that on the one hand there are very likely to be unambiguous in the text, particularly if it's the text of a domain, and you can do a lot of impressive things. Okay, if you don't forget that you are cheating in some way. Okay, don't forget that use compound nouns in order to have no ambiguities. Okay, but still you can apply it to restricted domains. And now we can inflect this dictionary and be able to locate if the sentence is I was eating apples, orange, be able to have the but not only for, of course, for orange, but for all the Russian nouns that are behaving like orange. Okay. Still, it's a absolutely simplification to say you know what is in my view, the main problem of computational linguistics? That we are inheriting in an unconscious way a lot of things that are really very, very basic grammatical tradition, and we are not putting that in question. The idea of masculine, feminine, for example, in human nouns has any sense. I mean, there is no such thing. Well, but I am not speaking. But just catch the idea. If you believe me, okay, or don't believe me. But the idea is there are a great effort made in levels, okay, in syntactic levels, that is more or less unuseful in my view, because we are doing very basic mistakes in very basic things, because the linguistics we apply is surprisingly a very childish linguistic in some way. Okay? Like in suppose that the verbs inflect in a normal way in just 100 paradigms, and that and something like that, and that there is nouns like orange, and then if I apply an S, then everything. That it's not true, because there are much more classes. Okay, and if you put an effort there, you haven't to complicate things in the parser. There are lots and lots of effort in parsers that, in my view, are impossible to solve, because there are not parsing problems. There are tagging problems that are solved too quickly. Okay, but that's for a theoretical discussion. For a practical discussion, let's do the inflection of orange. And the idea would be, well, just let's take a look at the dictionary that we have. Okay. For example, here, English lexical. We take the sample one. The text will give some information. Just a moment, I need to go to English, okay? Well, here you have all the commands you need in order to describe a language. Okay, you play with these operators in the morphological module. I think you need. What do you need in order to simulate the inflection of a language? You need normally to go to delete a character, okay, to open a character or something like that. Okay, in some languages like Arabic, you need to change the root, okay? In some language like Hebrew or language, you need to be able to tell NooJ, transform this letter in a final letter or a medium letter, because the graphical they are different. In Spanish, for example, you need sometimes change the graphical accent, and you must be able to tell NooJ, instead of this vocal, give me the vocal with accent, which is another character, and something like that. And I don't know in Russian, okay, in Russian, but more or less I think that you can find what you need, okay, with these operators. And in this case, I will create something like that, okay.
No.
Okay. I will go to
команды, которые там что-то сделать другое. Скриптует то, что пишет, делать на клавиатуре, для того, чтобы менять. Конечно.
То есть я ему напишу «ы», а он скажет, сейчас множественное число. Он это запомнит?
Russian grammar.
Я правильно понимаю, что здесь пишется скрипт того, что нужно сделать со словом, чтобы поменять его форму?
Inflection derivation. Okay? It's okay?
No, it's not completely clear.
Okay. I am trying to. Now we have a dictionary. It's a one-entry dictionary. Okay. But in this one-entry dictionary, we want to yes, save. Okay. Now saving something like projects. Well, save. Okay. We have this dictionary that it's one single entry dictionary. Okay. And now I want to say something like the inflectional paradigm is inflectional paradigm number 1. Okay, and I will in the future use 1 for all the nouns that are inflected, like apple-seed. Okay. Well, the first question: how do you inflect apple-seed?
We have 6 cases.
Sorry?
We have 6 cases.
Ah, well, cases. Well, much better for you, because you will suffer not so many much cases, much happier is the life of the computational linguistics. because if you have a very rich morphology, you suffer much less in syntax. Okay, if it's a real pain or it's a real misfortune that a lot of linguistic effort, that a lot of linguists speak English, because English is such an exotic language that relies so much in order that it's really a pity, because I think that everything would be better if these people in the MIT, for example, they speak Greek, okay? Good, because we would be more advanced in parsing technologies and so on, because not so much importance would have been allowed to syntax, okay? But well, that's another history. We are going to perform only a nominative, okay? But don't worry, we can do the inflectional paradigm can be, okay, as complicated as you want. It's for sure that Russian has not a nominal paradigm so big as Hungarian, for example, okay? And the Hungarian people are doing pretty well, okay? Then in NooJ, so you can implement for the Greek module is the same. The Greek we are elaborating the Greek module in Barcelona, for example, and okay, it's then let's say nominative, okay? In this case, eating an apple was an accusative.
Nominative.
The same, because it was a neuter, or no? The masculine is the same.
It's the same as the accusative for this case.
Okay, perfect. Then let's make.
Sorry,
just
mustn't there be an equal is fine instead of
yeah,
plus?
Yeah, you are right. Okay. So now our dictionary is now theoretically able to be automatically inflected, but we need to create this inflectional paradigm. Otherwise, it's not going to find it. Okay. Well, new grammar. Now a Russian one. Okay. Inflection derivation. Okay. I'm going to create now. Before I create a new text or a new dictionary, now I'm going to create a new grammar. And this grammar would be, the input would be Russian, the output would be Russian, because you can create grammars in bilingual mode, okay? In order to recognize, for example, there are something in Russian, where I think order is really important. I am not sure, because I don't speak Russian, but I think that if you say something like they are 20 students in the room, that means they are 20 students. Okay? But if you say something like they are students 20, that means like they are more or less 20.
Yes.
Well, that's meaningful order. That's very interesting, because the only way that I have to translate it appropriately is to locate this, because here there are a linguistic unit that it's an order. The linguistic units can be segmental ones, suprasegmental ones, we know, operations, food, feed, okay, or it can be order, okay. In this case, it's order, and I must to translate it approximately 20. The only way I have to do it this time, yes, that's a grammar, that's order, okay. It's to recognize it in Russian and to make an output in Spanish, inserting an adverb like approximately, because I cannot do it in another way, okay? For this kind of things, it's useful to have. But now we have doing something easy, okay? Russian, inflection, derivation. And now we have a grammar. Well, you know, I can do it with a graph or without a graph, but the result is exactly the same. Okay? I'm doing it with a graph, it's okay? And so you can then use. Then I'm doing. Well, let's say one thing. Sorry. Let's be more realistic. Okay? I say niet. Sample. I have opened the English one, okay? I take in this one, for example. Copy. Now I create new. No, not a grammar. Now I'm going to let's one equal, well, nothing, that's the symbol for nothing. If it's a singular, apple sim, okay, do nothing if you want to have a singular. It's a masculine or a feminine apple sim? Or a masculine. Do nothing if you have a masculine singular, okay? And what must I do in order to have a plural? What must I do?
A reflection.
Only add. I have nothing to remove.
Yeah.
Perfect. No. Yes? No, nothing to remove. Okay, much easier. Then what? Just here, I must write exactly what I have. Can someone write it?
The same key as English S.
Yeah? S.
No, the same key, but...
Okay, in Russian.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Нет.
Yeah?
Или мне отсюда не видно?
Now, say
А это «ы»? Ну, извините, мне не видно в последний вариант.
well, now, instead of analysis, I am saying that would be, well, at the moment,
Я понимаю, да.
let me see. Okay, now.
But could you please show it again?
I have to show
This
it again?
little grammar, yes,
Okay.
to show again.
Where is my Russian movie?
Oh.
Perhaps it's only in my documents.
Okay, yes. Well, in fact, that's a feature of NooJ. If you observe it, if you install NooJ in your personal computers in program files, these files are untouched. And then everything is copied, it's backup in your My Documents, okay? And so when you upgrade NooJ, okay, it's everything that you have worked with, it's preserved, okay? It's only in the, okay? And another thing, the dictionaries that are in My Documents, but with the dictionaries that begin with a line, underscore, okay, are upgrade. If you remove this underscore, no upgrade, okay? In order, well, let's see, lexical analysis, that's the, but it's not,
Вот нам обещали показать. У вас получилось? Господа
I will do it
типографы.
in
Написали грамматику? Для слова писем.
Слушай, я не могу найти мой файл.
У него аналогичные проблемы.
Я даже папку рук не могу найти.
Даже папку.
Да, опыт не помогает.
Well, that's the flex file, okay? That's blah blah blah, that's just comments, okay? That I can in fact eliminate.
Мы пишем грамматику для слов агрессии. Я не знаю.
Вопрос, что?
Что в строке должно быть?
Сейчас нам откроют, если найдут.
Вы не понимаете, куда он сохранился?
Да.
В мои документы нужно.
Дайте мне... О! Pages. Просто И.
Потому что апельсин.
Почему
Я, значит, емте.
А
я
вот ты
пытаюсь-
пишешь, что ему?
Я пытаюсь
Да.
удалить его, да. Или нет? Нет, тут, наверное, должно быть.
Well,
Ну, вот так вот. Вот так, наверное.
again, my documents, NooJ, Russian. Okay.
Он синтаксис
Сингур. Сингур. Это плюрал. Парадигма.
Так, да. Он графически понятно, что это будет.
Не знаю.
Well,
Кстати, я
sorry, I'm a bit lost about it because I'm not, but I am going to take the things. So I take this one. Ah,
Что, он тебя забрал?
Нет.
sorry. So I can see. Otherwise, I am not seeing any anything. What's happening?
It's better to use NooJ for editing text files.
Okay. Well, I have.
Oh.
Okay. Well. Now. Guardar como. This one. Okay. Yeah, we have more or less what we need, okay? Now, file open, grammar.
Это что, там вообще закрыт?
Ты, кстати, правильно уже? Он же как тексты искал.
Well, I have to tell in the dictionary.
Да, у нее тоже. Правила есть. Ты можешь его перевести?
That's the dictionary, okay? It's right.
Если я не вижу, что...
Расширение текста, надо дик.
Now.
Как это объяснить?
Что другое расширение нужно.
Подойти и сделать.
Подойди, сделай.
Недалеко назад. Даже если не до конца понимаю, не кажется.
Okay. Okay, you see the idea, no? Even if I am not doing it in a very right. So you see a little bit the idea. I'm telling at the head of dictionary, use the file that contains the inflection. Okay? Like a lot of program language, okay? That's just that, okay? And now you can ignore completely all the other comments, okay? I just have that. Okay, your dictionary can look like that. That's all that we really need, okay? A special command that is add a ds use, okay? Use inflectional file and the entries of the dictionary, okay? Eventually other properties definition or so on. And now we have to save this dictionary file.
Could you please show the content of this file with inflections?
Yes.
We want to
I
retype
hope.
it.
I hope that. I hope that. That's the content.
Окей.
Okay?
Just a moment, we need to retype it to do it the same.
Yes.
Можешь перевести сейчас?
You can ignore the comment too, in order to have a real little one.
В угловых скобках E.
Yes, the one would be is the name of this paradigm. Okay, we can put one or we can put I don't know, the appleseed paradigm. No problem. It's better if you use uppercase and so one. Okay, so I am sure that it's going to work. Ah, was new, no?
Все, сохраняем.
This E means nothing, okay? It's the null operator. Nothing slash, the slash means what is at the right side of the slash is the output. It's like a transducer, okay? It recognizes the left side of the slash and it will produce the right side. And the right side would be masculine singular, okay?
Там уже есть masculine один.
No, I assume that means that's safe.
Yes.
Control S, it's not. Well. And then I will use this one txt in order to inflect this text dictionary. No, this text dictionary, because the text dictionary is compiled now. We can look at it, okay? But we can look at it here, okay? Open dictionary. Yes. Cannot look it.
Ну, все сломалось.
That's the information about
Лидия Михайловна, когда скомпилировали слова, у вас получилось.
Ну так, а вы теперь видите текст «Я ем апельсины», посмотрите, у нас вперед или
you
нет?
know, in fact, what it's going to do is exactly that.
Ну, о чем должны делать?
Или яблоки, чего вы сказали?
In fact, it's exactly that. It's not other thing, okay? It's just put an S, okay? Or you put here in this little lab. I forget to see you that here you have labs. Labs and projects are only, you can, if you are happy with a text and a dictionary and something that you want to show to some other people, okay, you can compile a project and then just send the project. Or with the labs, you can use it in order to teach. For example, here you can teach per regular expression in a corpus, okay, or you can teach the, in this case, the morphology. Okay? The morphology, you take, for example, B, you take the inflection present and you inflect, okay?
We have a question.
Yeah.
So we managed to compile the dictionary, and it looks okay, but we cannot use it.
Use the dictionary?
Yes, we have compiled dictionary with two forms, but then I type the text and I show the list of unknowns. The word apelsine is unknown.
Okay, you must go to preference.
Yeah.
Lexical analysis, import file, import the inflected file. Okay. It's okay?
So I should use node file, NOD.
N-O-if.
No.
No, I have no.
No, NOD, you are right, because NOF it's what you inflected, the NOD, that now is inflected. Okay?
It tells me that it cannot copy this file into itself.
Then use, you have here NO. Do you have here NO?
Он чего? Апельсин, апельсин. 1 плюс P. Ага. Не, он
You have that?
Он его теперь узнает, но какой-то...
No? Then just when you have rewrite this dictionary with the use inflection, no? Reimport the dictionary because the dictionary has changed. Okay? And now you must reimport the dictionary in order to use the inflected dictionary. And reselect the dictionary. And use it. It's working in the other or no? It's working for the other people. Okay, it's probably
No, that's okay.
Normally, when you have compiled your dictionary with the inflect line, the dictionary must now recognize all the inflected forms because it has access to the inflect
And where can
file.
I see how does it recognize?
Well, you need a corpus with an inflected form. That's another thing, of course. You need write in the corpus the plural of orange, okay? Otherwise, you are not realizing that now it can recognize inflected form. Sorry?
Could you please look on our results?
Yes, yes.
So now, write that the Petsine and the Petsine are known. But it understands that the Petsine is a format of a Petsine.
Yes, but something is happening that is not okay. Unknown. Well, but it's not unknown. Sorry.
So the same now.
No preference.
Refresh.
Yes, I think it's going to work, but well, just in case. Try now to apply the dictionary over the text. Now, unknowns. Okay. No, okay, no, it's the same.
I need to re-input it.
Yeah. You can, delete file. Delete.
У него получилось.
Ну, получилось.
It's okay?
Мы сегодня самые умные.
And
So we all know that in general, it's possible.
okay, it's possible.
Sometimes.
But now I don't know why it's not working here exactly, okay?
Он понимает, что апельсин и апельсин это одно слово, но оно все равно подает языка.
Значит, ты плохо написал про апельсины. Про апельсины. Я не знаю, да. Для каких целей.
Иди сюда,
But that's a more or less trivial question. It's just to compile the inflectional file and to use it, okay? That's just... Do you have some question that I can still... Yeah. The dictionary? Go to lab, set, okay, compile. Okay. There is a mistake. Okay, let me show me the dictionary. I think it's point. You know what I mean? Nice to that the people answer each other. Okay, it's easier and it's more it's more briefly. So, but if you have a real problem, then Max will be happy to help. Okay, and he's a real computer scientist. No problems at all about. Okay, and there is another thing that you must know, but it's important. If you want to contact Max, don't hesitate. Okay, he's normally very more than one and twice and three. I really say to him, we will need this feature, or it's really a pain that NooJ is working in this with Intex more, but with NooJ I am not working very intensively, but with Intex yes. And he normally reacts, okay? Not instantly, but he reacts and he is developing it constantly, okay? Every year, very important, every year there are international conference. 2007 was Barcelona, 2008 was Hungary, Budapest. And it's really new because I learned it yesterday. 209 it would be in Tunisia, but not everywhere in Tunisia because we were doubting. And finally it could be in Tozer. But Tozer is a really nice oasis, you know, with it's a you can yes, it's really fantastic. Okay, if you can attend it, it's really the real desert like in films. Okay, with the big and the palm trees and it's really fantastic. If you can come, that would be in June. Okay, 8, 9, I think. But well, you would be you will find the announce. Okay, and the call for papers in the okay. If someone really wants to develop seriously a Russian module, it could be very interesting for as the good opportunity to attend those international conferences. Yes.
That's the time for question about modules. As far as I understand, there is no way to take some module developed for Russian and to import it inside NooJ as a component. But we need to extract data from the module we have and to recreate it on using NooJ specifics. So we can't use the module as a module, we need to rewrite it for NooJ.
But I don't understand you
So,
exactly.
Ты спрашиваешь фигню сейчас какую-то.
If you have the module, what do you want to
I have a Russian dictionary.
Okay.
I cannot use it in NooJ.
Not directly.
I need to create a brand new dictionary in NooJ.
Yes, but you can do it in a really quick way because there are very few things that are really compulsory in NooJ. Mostly are free. The only compulsory things are, how can I write here in a, you have your Russian lemma, okay? Comma, grammatical category, and then plus your other informations, and that's all. And each entry one line. If you have your dictionary, if you can edit your dictionary in any text editor, you can very easily, for sure, make, because your dictionary will have several fields. For example, if it's a database, it's very easy to transform in a neutral editor.
I understand. Another question is, what is the performance of NooJ? How big dictionaries can handle, and how big text can handle?
Well, I cannot ask you exactly. It would for sure depend on the operating systems. I mean, the limit would for sure be Windows, not be NooJ itself. Because you know, when Intex first appears, we were working in workstations. The PCs were not well adapted for this kind of work because we work in the 90s with 150 megabytes, for example, files, and Windows will crash completely in these times, okay? And then we were working in next step, that was the Unix version, okay? And with this Unix machine, we handle very big text. Then Max did the migration to Windows, and I remember that my Windows computer was theoretically much better than my hardware in Unix, but the Windows was crashing all the time, okay, and the Unix was completely okay. And then now, if you theoretically you can treat from my computational point of view, it's not incremental. You can treat huge text. For our operating system point of view, you must ask Max if you have a real limit. But normally you can compile huge dictionaries, millions and millions of states, okay, and megabytes or even gigabytes of text.
You mean that if I will run this on Linux, I will not have problems with size of text?
No, I don't mean that, because nowadays I don't know, I never worked with NooJ on Linux, okay? I'm speaking about my experience at the 90s. I'm saying that Intex can run with worse hardware in Unix, and Windows might crash all the time. And that I guess that the limit would be the operating system, not the software itself. But the best is Ask Max, because that it's...